Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Here's the headline from the Crypto Basic. Bitstamp says XRP will make history next year. That's bold, and you don't normally see cryptocurrency exchanges making such bold statements, and that's almost verbatim what they stated. I'll show you the exact post from Bitstamp on social media, and also share with you what I think it is, because I like the Crypto Basic, no offense to them, but I think they're missing the mark on what they were actually referencing. But I could be wrong too, so who knows. Then there's also this headline from the Crypto Basic. Ripple pledges $5 million in XRP to Donald Trump's inauguration. Now, this is interesting because there was a false narrative that Ripple, the company itself, was actually funding those that were in opposition to crypto, and I want to rip that narrative to shreds even more than I already have. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so I'll get to the piece in a second, but here's the post that they were referencing. And this is directly from Bitstamp's official account, 512,000 followers. This is it. A very popular cryptocurrency exchange, and they simply wrote yesterday afternoon, XRP gonna make history next year. So yes, not surprising that's caught everyone's attention, including mine, and probably, you might have even heard this before I even started talking about this, and the reason I say that is, this has almost 1 million views. Look at this, 922,700 views on X. That is monstrous. And the reason that is the case is because it was reposted tremendously. And the reason that happened is because we have a monstrously large XRP community. We are one of the biggest communities in all of crypto. I don't care that toxic Bitcoin maximalists don't like it. We're gigantic, we're correct, and they're just in this weird little echo chamber smelling their own farts. But look, what I think this is getting at has to do with tokenization of assets on the XRP ledger, which is, funnily enough, a major narrative for the bull run of 2024. Even though XRP ledger was capable of tokenizing assets since inception, now it's a big deal all of a sudden. And we in the community back in 2017, when I jumped in, everybody was already talking about how it's going to be like, if not literally the next big thing, a big thing that maybe is after the next thing. At some point, it's so obvious that of course the tokenization of everything under the sun makes sense, because you pick up even if it were just to pick up efficiencies, like even that would make it logical to do so. But I know, and I mentioned this yesterday about Ripple, and because Ripple posted this yet again. But here's a headline from November 25th, because Ripple brought it up literally on their official profile on X. But Ripple Archx debut first tokenized money market fund on XRP ledger. And so I mentioned this again very briefly just to note, this for sure is it's the direction the world's going, and the XRP ledger to this point is a notable part of this. People are building all sorts of things on top of the XRP ledger, and so the total value locked, meaning the value of assets that are tokenized on the XRP ledger, it's increasing at a very notable clip. And we know that assets that have a higher total value locked, they tend to have coins that are attached to those blockchains perform in notable fashion. And so that's why if you look at coins that popped last market cycle, pretty much all of them had very large TVLs, total values locked. And so this is happening for the XRP ledger. It turns out that speculators care about this. They care about actual usage on the blockchain here. And so this is, it was about Archx here. I don't need to read the article, but in case you missed it, basically, they're working with Ripple, and they're building on top of the XRP ledger a platform to tokenize money market funds effectively. So there's just going to be tokenized representations of that real world asset on the XRP ledger. And it's great if you're an XRP holder, because in order for that to be tokenized, XRP, because of the code of the XRP ledger, XRP is literally required. And for every single transaction, XRP is required. It's the gas that makes transactions possible, because again, that's how it was coded. And thankfully, the transactions are so cheap, they might as well be free. And then as far as what Bitstamp's talking about, though, well, let's make sure that you're all caught up on the speed on what's been happening with Bitstamp. Here's a headline from June 6th of this year from CNBC. Robinhood bets big on crypto with $200 million deal for Bitstamp. That's right. So Robinhood, I'm sure pretty much all of you have heard of Robinhood, a very popular exchange. And they decided to buy Bitstamp. And this is interesting for a couple of reasons. First of all, after that news broke, here you see November 13th this year, we got word that Robinhood was going to list XRP for the first time ever. That's right, Robinhood, where the normies go during bull runs, listing XRP going into the bull run. You'll love to see it. Now, that's not all that's noteworthy, though. Here's a headline from September 16th, and I think this is what we're getting at here, actually. Bitstamp and Ripple to launch derivatives exchange. Now, since this is September 16th, months after the news that Robinhood was purchasing Bitstamp, that means that we should absolutely expect that this would move forward. So if this news had broken, it was before the buyout, who knows, new management could have decided, no, we're not going to do this thing. This news came after that. So check this out. Bitstamp's head of strategic partnerships, Eva Gartner, reveals the company's plans to launch a derivatives exchange in collaboration with Ripple. Gartner revealed the initiative in the 10th episode of the Built on XRP Ledger series. Speaking at the series, Gartner said Bitstamp will launch the derivatives exchange in the next few months, adding that we, Bitstamp, really hope to cooperate closely with Ripple there as well. Additionally, the Bitstamp exec noted that the company is excited about the upcoming derivatives exchange, suggesting that the platform could drive crypto adoption. At present, Bitstamp has issued multiple stablecoins tied to the USD, and then they name some other currencies, fiat currencies. And so that's it. So we're talking further about tokenization here. They're building a platform on top of the XRP ledger in which real-world assets are going to be tokenized. If anybody thinks that XRP isn't going to be here, and in much greater fashion, a decade from now, you're out your damn mind. Because even if we fast forward and that were the case, there are no indications in 2024 that would make it reasonable to believe that's the outcome. There's nothing that would make it reasonable to believe that XRP is just not going to be a thing in the future. Everything's going the opposite direction, the way that you would want and hope it to be if you're an XRP holder, so far as I see. So this is exciting. This is another thing that helps to ensure the long-term viability of XRP and the XRP ledger. Because when people jump in to crypto, if they want to diversify, they're like, oh, well, stuff's getting built on this blockchain, and XRP is required, it's required literally in the plumbing to make all this actually happen because it's coded that way. It's tried and true. It's been around for over a decade. Maybe if I want to diversify into crypto, maybe that XRP stuff might make some sense. Don't you think that some rational people are going to look at things that way? Because I do. I think that utility matters and will win the day. Where there's real world adoption, there's going to be real money flowing in to catch up. And XRP has been supremely undervalued this whole time, and I've been screaming it for 7 years, just about, at this point. 7 years. And here we are, and it's finally starting to catch up. After the stupid-ass attack from the SEC, all that bogus crap, here we are, and we're lifting up from that artificial price suppression, which is exactly what's been unfolding all this time. And so that's why you had this post here from Bitstamp, I think anyway, that's my speculation. XRP gonna make history next year. Now, what the Crypto Basic was writing here, and I don't really need to read this whole thing, they were speculating that it could have to do with price. And so from that perspective, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm kind of skeptical that's what they were referencing. They could have been. Can't get in the minds of these people. So technically they could be right, fine. But that's not something that's specific to Bitstamp, which is why I'm skeptical of that. But sure, yeah, it could have to do with that. And then there's excitement about the ETFs. But do we think that, and they cite that in this article, but do we think that just because there's 4 different firms that filed with the SEC for XRP ETFs, that would prompt Bitstamp to write that post that, again, gonna make history next year for XRP? Do we think those are the reasons, or would it have to do with what they're building? I would guess it has to do with what they're building. They're just being cryptic about it, but I'm willing to bet that's exactly what it means, and it does materially matter. All of this matters big picture. And then we have this. Ripple pledges $5 million in XRP to Donald Trump's inauguration. All right, and so the Crypto Basic was covering that story based on a story from Fox Business journalist Eleanor Terrett. But I want to notice something before getting into just a couple of the specifics about it, because frankly, the headline, I think, is mostly what you need to know. But I just want to push back against this narrative that Ripple was intentionally investing in entities that were just explicitly anti-crypto. It's just completely absurd. And so here's some proof. Here you have a headline from July 16th. Of course, John Deaton was running against Senator Elizabeth Warren for that seat in Massachusetts. Here you go. Ripple backs Deaton with $1 million in Senate race against Warren. So that was July. Obviously, they're just supporting whoever's pro-crypto. Whether it's left or right, that's not as much what matters to Ripple. It's who's pro-crypto. That's pretty damn clear. Brad Garlinghouse has said as much. That's not my speculation. Brad Garlinghouse, leading the company, has stated that, right? And so that went to a politician on the right, right? Then there's this from Bitcoinist. This is from 5 months ago. Ripple CLO Alderati donates. This is their top in-house lawyer. Ripple CLO Alderati donates $300,000 in XRP to Donald Trump. So that's somebody else that's higher up, donating specifically to Trump right there. But then you had this. This is from October 21st. Ripple co-founder, that'd be Chris Larson, pledges $10 million in XRP to Kamala Harris campaign PAC. And so look, what I said at the time, and I still believe that this is the right take, if you have a company that's sufficiently large, you're going to have people on the left and the right politically. And if they're going to donate, they're going to donate based on their belief system. That's that. And so for Chris Larson, my speculation was always like, I mean, he has to know, despite what, like, he has to know that, you know, the real pro-crypto side, it's on the right. And so my speculation, can't know for sure, but my speculation is always that Chris Larson, he just values all the other political things he cares about more than what would happen to crypto by donating $10 million worth of XRP to the left, which on the whole is just, to this point anyway, is anti-crypto. And the way they vote, that's provably the case. It's not my opinion. It's just based on voting records. They just are. Not literally all of them, but most. By voting record, these are factual things I'm stating here, right? But that didn't mean that it was Ripple, of course. But then you have people with XRP derangement syndrome like Jason Pizzino, who is wrong about everything that has to do with XRP. He wrote this on October 21st. Just in, XRP/Ripple, so this is hilarious. XRP/Ripple donating $10 million of XRP to Democrats' election campaign. That should squash the tinfoil hat arguments about XRP being the one true currency. That's one of the stupidest things you could possibly write after reading that news. So, I'm sorry, XRP donated money? Is XRP sentient? XRP is a sentient being now, and it can just donate, and it has like just money. It knows where to send it, and it's got a brain. It can just do that stuff. Or if it's Ripple even, so it's Ripple literally $10 million. Oh, that's funny. Because all the stories, which he had to have known better, it said it was Chris Larson, and it was Chris Larson. And so that's somebody on the left. He's always been publicly on the left. And if you want to donate it that way, that's fine. He can do that. And then others on the right, like Stuart Alderati, also higher up at Ripple. He didn't donate as much, but he's also obviously not as wealthy. Even though I'm not saying he's not wealthy, it's just that Chris Larson's a multi-billionaire. Okay, but Stuart Alderati, he donated on the right where he thought it made sense. And duh, like that's what people do. There's nothing weird about this. And then Ripple, they're donating to whoever is pro-crypto. So that was John Deaton, and that is Trump. That is what's happening here. This should not be surprising at all. So anyways, piece reads as follows. Crypto companies, including Ripple, contribute millions to fund the inauguration celebrations of United States President-elect Donald Trump. According to a Fox Business report, Ripple pledged to contribute $5 million worth of XRP to the Trump Advance Inaugural Committee. This organization is responsible for funding the 3-day inaugural celebration of Trump and his vice president, but they cut that out, J.D. Vance following their victory in last month's presidential election. Notably, the activities include dinners, parades, and galas will occur before and after Trump's inauguration on January 20th, 2025. Fox Business claimed the company confirmed its contribution to the fund. And so there you go. I like Ripple, monetarily backing whoever's going to be pro-crypto. And if some of those people are on the left, and some of them are based on like the money that Ripple donated to Fairshake, the PAC, some of them actually were. But if it's somebody pro-crypto, like this is not a political channel, it's just whoever's pro-crypto, on here at least, I'm going to be like, okay, cool, that makes logical sense at least. Because I'm not getting into politics on this channel other than how it pertains to the economy, finance, and crypto specifically. Other than that, nope, that's not what this channel's for. So all of this makes sense. Why wouldn't they do this? And they donated recently, I think it was $25 million more to Fairshake after the election so they can fight for the midterms. And that's coming up in 2 years. Makes sense, right? Should be no surprise here. Anyway, the future is bright for crypto at large and specifically for XRP. And here in this video, this latest Moon Lambo hot jam are additional reasons why. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Lambo.